Welcome in. It is day 334, and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to go over a small card game called Nidavellir. Now, Nidavellir is a game that it concentrates in on cards that are all dwarf-based. Essentially, you're all fighting for the right to go and fight the dragon. Now, despite that being your goal, you actually don't fight the dragon in the game. That is simply what the winner earns the right to do. The concept is there are 5 different types of dwarf card, all distincted by different colors, and you're going to be playing through 2 rounds. During these rounds, you're going to be playing cards down, and you're trying to get groups of them together. You're scoring based on total number of each of these groups. Now, each one scores differently, so you might get one group that says, well, we're going to have it be that the first one's worth 1, but then the next one's worth 1 plus 2, so 3, and the next one's worth, the 1 plus 3 is 4 plus 5, and you're basically getting a bump each time. Whereas another one is actually squaring it, so 1 is 1, 2 is 2 squared 4, 3 is 3 squared 9. Another one simply states each one has a value, and you're adding the values together. And then you also have the ability to get heroes. The heroes are given to you based on whenever you have a row where you have one of each of the 5 colors, you have earned the right to go grab a hero. The hero is usually going to give you some kind of a benefit. Either it's going to be a colored hero, which means you might suddenly go and say, well, I'm going to get another green, but this one actually counts as 3 greens. That might complete other rows and allow you to get additional heroes. Or it might be a neutral, and it might end up just giving you some kind of a money benefit or points benefit. You're going to run through, you're going to score this once, you're going to run through it again, you're going to score it a second time, you're going to add all your points up, winner's going to be able to go off and face the dragon. And in the case of a tie, you actually send the tied players to go face the dragon together. Again, all facing the dragon means is you won. Well, that's the basics of the game, but we're going to jump in. Let's talk our 7 categories and see where this game lands for us. When it comes to the art, I actually kind of find this game wanting when it comes to art. I don't hate its cover, but it doesn't grab the eye. I kept hearing the name Nidavellir, and I kept hearing it was a good game. I watch a lot of the Dice Tower Top 100s, and I'd hear this one mentioned. But when I was in a store, it just never grabbed my eye. And then one day I actually noticed, I was like, wow, that's just such a plain box. I don't really like the art on the box. And the cards, they're not bad, but they're blandish. I think that the art is fine. It's just not doing anything to grab the eye. If you were to go to a convention and Nidavellir is set up, I don't know that I would even kind of stop and look. And that's not a good thing for me. I tend to be somebody who loves the design of a board game, of a card game, of seeing it all set up and put together. And if it's not grabbing my eyes, it's not doing a good job selling itself. So for me, thumbs down. Your components. So primarily you're dealing with cards, and it looks like the cards are great for this game. There's no issue with this as far as tearing, wearing, anything like that. But you also have some cardboard pieces, as you're going to be having your different types of money, your different types of victory point coins you can grab. There's going to be your big bonus gem, which is actually going to be worth, potentially 3 points at the end of the game, as well as the money it's worth for selling. So I think that they do a great job in their components. Thumbs up. Your price. Nidavellir is gaining popularity. It's in, I'd say, 3 out of 5 board game stores minimum. I want to say I've seen this in Barnes & Noble at this point. I don't think I've seen it over in a Target yet, but I've seen it in Barnes & Noble. It's online, and you're getting there for about $30. It's not very expensive. It's a good small card game in a medium-sized box. I think that they're doing a good job of getting a game out there that's fun for an okay price. Thumbs up. Your difficulty. So I don't know that this is one I would recommend for kids. I think that the game is just, it's not colorful and inviting enough for a kid to see it and be excited about it. And it's not that it's impossible to play, but it is a little bit more numbers based, which for kids can be a little bit outside of what they want to go after. I do think a beginner can try this. I don't think it's probably a 50-50. I think this is really for the experienced players, and I think experts enjoy this as well. For me, that's enough. That's a thumbs up. Replayability. So this game Takes a little bit of time. I'd say you're probably playing this game in about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. This may not be one that you want to jump at multiple times in a row. I don't think you can't. I just don't know if this is going to be as comparable to some other card games I've gone over that have been on a shorter time frame. That being said, I do think this is a game that has a chance to get to your table a few times a year. That being said, do I think this game is realistically going to be one that you're going to get out often? I think there's going to be a portion of people out there, let's go crazy and say 10% of you, that will love this game and therefore it will be played a lot. But I think there's going to be probably like 70% of you that the game's fine. You could even add it to your collection. But you know it's not going to be one of your top choices, and it's not going to get chosen more than a few times a year at max. So for me, I don't know if there's really enough replayability there for the majority of you. It's got to be a thumbs down. Keys to victory. What are you after? Are you trying to bump up your value of your coins? Are you trying to focus in on a specific one or two colors? Are you trying to spread even and try to make sure that you can get more heroes? There are keys to victory here. You have options, and depending on what your opponents are doing, you can adapt through time as well. I think that that's perfectly fine. Thumbs up. Is the game unique? I think that there's some great pieces here, but I feel like, especially when it comes to card games, you need to be a lot more unique in your combination in order to stand out. This one, okay, so you have different types of essentially dwarven tribes that score differently. I've seen that before. You have the ability to upgrade your money amount. I mean, literally, I was just playing last night Quedlinburg. Now, while this may not compare completely, that ability in that game to move your starting point up is kind of the same idea of moving up your starting money amount. So to me, that's existed before. And your ability to invest and get those bonus hero cards, we've seen that before. Is this trio coming together in a completely unique style? Sure, maybe there's no game that does A, B, and C together quite like this has done it. But I think there's plenty of games that have done A and B, B and C, A and C. I think that we've gotten two of these three aspects together enough times that this one doesn't stand out enough. The likelihood is that if you like this, one of those three games, maybe even two of them, are going to stand in for it as well, and you're going to probably find yourself saying, they're all kind of close enough. So for me, I don't think this stands out quite enough as unique. Thumbs down. Overall, what do I think? It is a fun game. It is a game that is worth getting to your table and trying. I don't know if I'd recommend everybody to buy the game, but I think you should just give it a shot. It's not one I would hunt down, but it's one that if you have a friend who owns it, if you see it at a convention, or if you're out at a board game store and you're not sure if you'd like it or not, talk to the owner or whoever's working that day. Most of the time, they're going to have an open copy, and they'd be happy to let you set it up with a friend in the back, play it on a table real quick, and see if the game hits for you. Because if it does, you're going to pick the game up, they make a sale. And if it doesn't, at least they're not dealing with somebody being an unhappy customer. They want people to be happy. So never be afraid to ask. Most stores will comply. Well, it has been day 334, and we've been speaking about the game Nidavellir, and you've been speaking to the Meeples Champion. Like, share, subscribe, and check down below in the description. I'll be adding an Amazon link in case you want to get this game for your collection. And don't forget to jump onto Board Game Arena and find me under the name The Meeples Champion. You can send me over a game request, a friend request. I try to jump on once or twice a day. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.